Hey guys, what's up? This video is going to be my labor and delivery story with Kaiya. So if you're interested, just keep watching.
We are about to meet you, girl. You are hurting your mom very much right now. Water broken, 10 centimeters dilated. Of course, by the time you see this, you probably have 3 younger brothers.
Okay guys, so the long-awaited labor and delivery story. I promise you guys, I get texts about this all the time from so many of my friends that are pregnant. They really want me to just like explain this story to the world and share this story with you guys. So I really hope you guys enjoy this video. I had a really great delivery with Kaiya, so I'm hoping that everything goes exactly the same with this baby as well. When I was about 39, I was 39 weeks pregnant with Kaiya, about 39 weeks, 4 days probably. So I went to my doctor on Thursday morning. This would be February 9th. And she checked me to see how effaced I was, how dilated I was, anything. She told me that I was, I think I was like 50% effaced. I can't really remember, to be honest. But I know that I was about a centimeter and a half dilated. So technically, like I was starting, I knew that something was coming. She asked me if I wanted to have my membrane stripped. She said it's not proven, but there's been studies showing that if you get your membrane stripped, then you could go into labor. And I'm on call this weekend, so it would be perfect if you went to labor this weekend. So I was like, go ahead, girl. Worst experience of my entire life, you guys. It's really awful. They stick their hands up in you, literally just like go like this inside of you. And what they're doing is just trying to, I guess, strip all of those, all of that, whatever it's called, I guess your mucus plug, all of that stuff. So they're trying to get rid of all of that stuff so that the labor just starts naturally. So fast forward to that night, me and Dakarai went to go see 50 Shades of Grey in theaters. So we were at the movie theater, and during the movie I started to have contractions. So this is my first pregnancy, you guys, so just remember that. I'm very naive, I don't know anything about anything, so just remember that. I started to have contractions. I would go ahead and say they were Braxton Hicks now at this point in my life, but who knows? They were really, really irregular. I just knew that I was having contractions and they didn't even hurt. So it just felt like a tightening in my stomach, and then it would release. Some would be like 30 seconds apart, some would be like 20 minutes apart. It was just all over the place, right? So I'm sitting in the movie theater watching this movie thinking like, oh my God, like what if I went into labor like in this movie theater? What's gonna happen? I'm freaking out. I didn't say anything to Dakarai during the movie. So as soon as we got out of the movie, I kind of like jokingly said like, I think I'm having contractions. This might have not even been after the movie. This might have been like when we got home. So I told him like, I think I'm having contractions. I'm not really sure. They don't really hurt, but I'm Superwoman. I promise you guys, this is actually what I said. I was like, I think I'm having contractions, but like, I think that I have such a high pain tolerance that I wouldn't really feel contractions the same way as everybody else. Like, who says that? Who says that out loud? So I just thought, I mean, obviously I had no idea what contractions felt like, just like anybody else who's pregnant for the first time. You have no idea what to expect. So I just knew that my stomach was tightening and it was stopping and it was coming and going. So I knew that that was what labor was. You know, I knew that contractions would start. I just didn't know what they would feel like. And they did kind of start to hurt a little bit at this point in time. This was probably like 11, 12 o'clock at night. So he was like, well, let's just call the hospital. So I called the labor and delivery. The lady I talked to on the phone was definitely the lady who I saw, because both times she was really rude and I was really offended and upset because, again, it's my first pregnancy. They probably should have treated me like a little bit nicer. But whatever, it was just this lady. Everybody else at my hospital was great. And really this lady, there's nothing wrong with her because she was totally right. But at the time I was pregnant, 39 weeks pregnant, my first pregnancy. She should have like had a little bit more sympathy towards me or something. So I called them. I was like, hey, I'm having contractions. They're not very painful, but I'm just not really sure. This is my first baby. And she was like, you're talking to me, so you're not having contractions and you're probably not in labor. And I was like, what? Like, okay, well, I don't know. I've never had a baby, so I don't really know. Like, I just wanted to call to check. And she was like, well, you can come in here if you want, but you're probably just going to be sent back. I was like, what? I was so upset at this lady for treating me this way. So she was really rude to me. She just like made me feel like I'm an idiot, and why would you think that you were in labor? You're not in labor, you're dumb. I talked to Dakarai about it. I'm scared that the contractions are coming on more often. We decided to go to the hospital just to make sure. As soon as I got there, I could tell that this lady that was on the phone with me was the lady that was helping me out, because she was like, hey, expecting us. She brought me into a room. She checked to see how dilated I was. I was still only about 2 centimeters dilated, so definitely not in labor. Definitely not having, she put the monitors on my belly. Definitely wasn't having serious contractions yet. She could see the contractions were happening. She was like, you are having contractions, but they are not significant enough for you guys to stay. You guys should go home. And so she was like, I've seen moms who've had 5 children come into the labor and delivery crawling because the pain from the contractions was so awful, and you're not going to be any different. She told me, I can give you these pills so that you can take them tonight, and the pain will go away. Any pain that you're having will go away. You'll be able to sleep through the night, and I'm going to go ahead and predict that you'll have the baby probably this weekend, Saturday or Sunday. That's what she said. So I ended up having Kaiya on Saturday morning. So she was right. She gets all the credit. She was totally 100% correct, but she definitely should have treated me way nicer. She gave me these pills. I don't remember what they were, but they took all the pain away. I took them and I went to sleep, and I was having these crazy dreams, and Dakarai said that I was like acting crazy. So I could have been like hallucinating and not actually asleep, but they were giving me these really wild dreams. Like, I was dreaming that I remember I was like straddling Dakarai, I guess, but like on my side. So I was on my side and I had one of my legs over him and then my arms wrapped around him. And I was like, I thought he was like a rocket ship. Like, I thought I was riding a rocket ship and he was taking me to like different places of the world. And so I remember he told me that I like told him to get off me. I was like, get off, give me Keisha. I want to see where Keisha takes me. And he was like, oh my God, are you crazy? Like, so I was just telling him about it. So I guess I was awake, but I thought I was dreaming. I thought I was completely asleep. So these pills made me feel really wild. So I go to sleep, wake up in the morning. I'm totally fine that morning. I didn't feel the contractions the way I thought I was feeling them the night before. I could tell that I was still kind of like, you know, getting that tightening feeling every once in a while, which again are probably Braxton Hicks contractions at this point. So I had a job when I was pregnant with Kaiya. I had a desk job, and Dakarai actually worked at the same place as me. So we both took off that Friday because we thought that I was going to go into labor, of course. So he told his boss on Thursday that he wasn't going to work, and I did the same thing. So yeah, we go on throughout our day, whatever. I don't remember what we did. We probably went on a walk because I was trying to induce labor, and then we went to eat at Olive Garden. So it was probably around mid-afternoon when we went to Olive Garden, and I went to the restroom. As soon as we got to Olive Garden, of course, I was pregnant, so I went to the restroom, and my mucus plug fell out. It was the craziest experience of my whole life, and I wish that I would have taken a picture of it because it was honestly almost like amazing. I went and met Dakarai at the table, and I told him like, oh my God, my mucus plug fell out. Like, what do I do? We called the labor and delivery people again, and they were like, oh yeah, it's totally fine if that comes out. Some people have that come out like weeks before. It just keeps building. Your baby will be fine. Just come in if your water breaks or if you start having contractions. I think she said like 5 minutes apart. I don't really remember. So yeah, so I eat the Olive Garden. I'm trying to eat garlicky food because that's another thing that can induce labor. So we eat our Olive Garden. I go home, hang out. I think my mom came over and hung out with us a little bit that day. Then I started recording. So this is where my intro is, the intro to all of our videos, where Dakarai's saying, what is he saying? He's like, oh, you're hurting your mommy very much right now. I don't even know. I'm so bad. I created this intro and I don't even know the words that he's saying. Dakarai, you are so annoying. I literally hate you.
It's okay.
I don't want to be on the camera.
I know you don't. Look, Kaiya, your mom is hurting right now. She's very angry at me because I put you there. Can I look at her? Quick glance at her. Okay, this is you, girl.
I think this should be more private.
What's that like?
This can be a dining room.
Does lamp work? Oh yeah, that works.
Okay.
Come here.
What about the funky window? There's no need for two windows.
We're about to meet you.
This window,
We are about to meet you, girl.
down to a 3x3
You are hurting your mom very much right now.
and that window I would close off.
Very much. She hates me right now, but whenever you're here, I swear she's gonna let me.
So let's eliminate it, the weird bay window, put a new window here on top of the sink, close this door.
I don't want to be on it.
Alright.
So that's this night that I'm talking about. This is like 11 o'clock at night. I'm having contractions for sure now. They're starting to hurt pretty bad. Not real contractions again, you guys. The lady who was really rude was definitely correct. Like, real contractions, you cannot walk, you cannot do anything, I cannot speak, anything. Real contractions are really, really bad. So I call the labor and delivery again, and this time I get them, like this whole day I've gotten a much nicer lady. So this lady's like, hey, there's no limit to the amount of times you can come in. You guys can come in as much as you want, and if you feel like you need to come in, definitely do it. But she was like, here are the things that you should do before you come in, just to make sure that you're really feeling the pain that you think you are. So she told me to take a warm bath, so I did that. She told me to take 2 Tylenol, try to go to sleep, and if the contractions were waking me up in my sleep, then to come to the hospital. I took the Tylenol, I went to sleep, or I tried to go to sleep, and the contractions were waking me up. So they were so bad that they were waking me up, but not bad enough that I was like really, really hurting.
I'm gonna have you in the background. Hey, I'm gonna take over the show, y'all. Shh. She's hurting right now. She can't be on camera. But let me tell you something. It's very difficult whenever your expecting mother has a very high pain tolerance. So she doesn't really tell the nurses how bad it's really hurting. So they say go to sleep. As if that's possible right now. No sleep. So this is what we're gonna do. Go to the hospital, and we're gonna do what? Hey, they say give birth to Kaiya. We're gonna go to the hospital, we'll give birth to Kaiya. I'm gonna give one more chance. We're gonna go to the hospital, and we're gonna
Get away from me.
oh, contractions happening right now. Gotta go.
We go to the hospital. At this point, the hospital is like a 5-minute drive from our house, so it was no risk in driving to the hospital. I went upstairs. The lady checked me out. She was like, you're not fully dilated yet. You're not in active labor, but I can see on the screen that you are having some pretty strong contractions coming on. So I don't want you guys to leave, but just go walk around the hospital until you are having such bad contractions that you can't handle the pain, or until 4 a.m. So it was probably like 2:30 when she told me to do this. So me and Dakarai just went around the hospital, walking, doing squats, doing everything that we could. Contractions were getting way worse during this time. Worst walk of my entire life. We were walking around the hospital. I was doing squats. I was trying to do anything that I could do to like get myself more dilated. Dakarai told me that like I was squeezing his hand, and he was like, you were almost about to break my hand. I was having really bad contractions, but I didn't know if they were bad enough, so I just walked all the way until 4. So we went back to the doctor at 4. She checked me. She was like, yep, you're 4 centimeters dilated, so you're in active labor. This is great. Let's get everything started. She asked me if I wanted an epidural. She was like, I'll order it for you. They'll be in here. It'll probably take them about an hour to get up here because they have to get everything set up. But we're going to give you these drugs in your IV until then. Started giving me those, and they took the edge off a little bit, but not very much. Like, it was nothing. I was still feeling the contractions. Dakarai was like amazing the entire time. He was like a really great coach. He was coaching me through the whole time. I remember we were walking around, he was like, you can do this, you're that. He was just telling me how great I was and like how strong I was. He was just like really like telling me that he was like, keep breathing, keep breathing. So he was like a really, really, really amazing coach the entire time. And so I give some of the credit to him as well. He did a really good job helping me out and not making me feel like he's just not doing anything. He wasn't just sitting on the side just watching me go through all this pain. He was doing it with me, and it was really great. And my anesthesiologist got in there really fast. She was like this hardcore amazing freaking black queen walking in there. Like, I don't even know, she was just the most, like, she was the most serious lady I've ever met in my entire life, and probably all that I could ever hope and dream for in an anesthesiologist. And I'm hoping that I get her again my second time because I loved her. She walked in the room. She was like, are you ready to have an epidural? And I was like, yes. And she was like, let's get this started. Dakarai sat there the whole time. He was a trooper. He watched the whole thing. He said it was gross, but like not as disgusting as people explain it. So she comes in and she sits me the way she wants me to sit, and she just does the epidural real quick. I didn't feel a single thing, you guys. So many people complain about, I had to do this and I had to do that, and it was so hard to sit still and have these contractions and all this stuff. I literally didn't have to do anything. All I did was I held a pillow and I just sat like this, and she was doing it. I didn't feel anything. I felt the pressure of her sticking the needle in my back, of course, but it didn't hurt. So she was quick, easy, one time, done, amazing woman for sure. Well, this was about 6 o'clock when the epidural was completely done. Guys, this epidural, I was like, wow, this is the greatest thing in the entire world. I'm chilling. I could sit here forever. I called my parents, called Dakarai's parents. We did the whole thing, told them I was in labor for sure. We got all that done. So I'm chilling. Like, I'm really chilling. I'm like, ooh, this is nice. I can't feel anything. Thank God, because once you're having that pain for so long and then you just have no pain, it's like you go from one end of the spectrum to the other, so you're just so happy to not have any pain. But I also wasn't thinking about the fact that I was about to have a baby in a few hours. About 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, I think it had to have been 9 o'clock. So 9 o'clock, the doctor comes in. You know, they keep coming in and out to check how dilated I am the entire time. So about 9 o'clock, my doctor comes in, the doctor that I'm seeing for my appointments every week, and she's like, I'm gonna break your water. And I asked her, I said, well, how are you gonna do that? She showed me the hook that she was gonna use, and she was like, you just stick it up there and just break it. And I was like, oh, okay. So she was like, but I'm first gonna check and see how dilated you are. And poof, like my water just breaks. Like, you can feel it. You can feel it in your body and you can hear it. It's like a poof, gush of water just comes out. So another TMI, but again, it's a pregnancy vlog. She was like, oh, well, your water broke and you're 10 centimeters dilated, totally effaced. You're 100% ready to start having this baby. And I was like freaking out. I was like, wait. I thought like your first labor was supposed to last 24 hours. It's supposed to be a really long time. Like, I'm supposed to have a lot of time to just sit here and chill in this bed and hang out and think about the fact that I'm about to become a mom. She was like, no, you don't. But we're gonna let you labor down for an hour. She was like, you're 10 centimeters dilated. You could start pushing right now, but we're gonna let you labor down for an hour. Let the baby push as far down as she wants to. And so I actually think that this is another reason why my labor went so well, because my doctor let me chill and let me hang out.
Action.
Water's broken.
She's excited. I'm gonna have to edit that.
Your Snapchat, you're like so weird.
Water broken, 10 centimeters dilated. It is.
I'm apparently great at labor, in case anybody's wondering.
9 o'clock.
Kaiya.
Kaiya, your mother is great at labor. She wants you to know. Of course, by the time you see this, you probably have 3 younger brothers.
How old does she have to be to watch that? Friggin' 22?
What you mean? She can retain
You
this when
can't
she's young.
produce boys. It's okay, Dakarai. One day you'll get over it.
You said it here first.
See?
Around 10 o'clock, the nurses come in. They're like, okay, it's been about an hour, so you're ready to push. And again, all that like feeling again was like, oh my God, I'm about to push. Because I was freaking out. I wasn't like actually outwardly freaking out, but I mean inside I was really freaking out. So they had to put oxygen on me because I wasn't getting enough oxygen, I guess. So they gave me the oxygen and they were like, okay, we're gonna do a test push. A contraction comes, she tells me to push. I push and they're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. They're like, we gotta go get the doctor right now. We gotta get everything ready. They start like scrambling, getting everything ready. It seemed like running around, but it probably wasn't actually like as frantic as it seemed. My doctor comes in. She's like, are you ready to have a baby? I'm like, no, I'm not. So this is about 10. So she's like, gets everything ready. So the next contraction that I had, she was like, okay, I pushed 3 times. So each contraction you push 3 times. So I pushed 3 times that contraction. and then through one more contraction, just so 6 times in total, and Kaiya was out. Do it. Ready?
Let's meet the
And
baby.
push. There you go. Keep going. And push. Push, 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 push.
Oh, I'm sorry. She said, put the camera down and show me some love. Get the camera out my face and show me some love. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You go good, baby.
I'm trying to make a move.
Kaiya.
Her face, because she's even getting red.
She's like, you do know I don't know my name. You can get over to that.
I bet she is doing something.
Hey, Kaiya.
Yes.
Say hi. Hi, Kaiya. Hi. What's up? Your head up already?
Oh, no. That's
Hello.
like the face of something's coming down tight.
Uh-huh.
Feel better?
Little girl.
There he is. Oh,
Yeah, she's not a
he is strong.
Yeah, I know.
She is.
It's very.
So Kaiya was born at 10:16 a.m. on February 11th. I pushed only 6 times. I labored for about, if you don't technically count the hours that I wasn't in active labor and I was walking around the hospital, I was in active labor, 4 centimeters dilated from 4 o'clock in the morning to 10 a.m. So that's only 6 hours. I expected to be in labor for 24 hours. I expected the worst of everything.
The chosen one has arrived.
Oh my goodness. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready. I don't know if Keisha's ready. Keisha.
Kaiya's first introduction to her big sister. Hi, Kaiya. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Can you see me? She's so sleepy. I know, it's so hard. We left the hospital.
Everything went really smoothly throughout my whole labor and delivery. It was like a really amazing experience, and I just really hope that everything goes exactly the same this time, because it would be great. This time we're definitely going to record the whole thing, so you guys will be there with us the whole time. So I'm gonna end the video here. I hope you guys enjoyed my labor and delivery story. It was one that was really special to me, and I'm glad that I'm able to share these videos with y'all. If you did like the video, don't forget to press thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on those post notifications so that you don't miss any of our future videos. See you guys next time.